I'm not going to tell the kids to rock the vote. Nobody listens to rock anymore, and this episode won't even air on time. You're a bad producer, Kurt Loder. You're a bad producer. Welcome to another episode of Odd Man Sports, a show with a 98.8% sports Emmy win probability. Those are pretty good odds, right, Chargers fans? Some might even call that a lock. I'm your host, Brandon Perna, also host of That's Good Sports, which is a lot like this show, but with more wood behind me. So make sure you're subscribed here and there so I can continue to do two shows. All right, we got dinks and dunks. Week 8 is in the books, which had me reaching for a different kind of book. The Kama Sutra and then the Urban Dictionary. For the word da fuck, as in, how the fuck did the Broncos come back and beat the Chargers? As in, why the fuck did the NFL fine Juju Smith-Schuster and James Conner $5,000 for wearing their socks too low? Since the socks weren't too high, we know for sure that Rex Ryan didn't report them to league officials. The specific language for the offense is even more humorous than realizing I won't spend $5,000 on socks in one lifetime. In the NFL policy manual, it reads, specifically, your stockings failed to cover your lower leg. Who the fuck calls them stockings? Well, besides that big guy in red. Yeah, Andy Reid. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the Fox. Also, as in, what the fuck do you mean, Chase Claypool? After the undefeated Steelers win over the Ravens, Chase Claypool tweeted out this, losing? Never heard of her. At the time I read this, the tweet had 58,000 likes, which in my opinion is 58,000 too many, given how little sense that makes. Personally, I would have tweeted, losing? And don't call me Shirley. Losing? Never heard of her? I mean, I get why he hasn't heard of losing, but why is losing a her here? That sounds a little sexist. While he's maybe not the most sexist player on the Steelers, another one comes to mind. Never mind, here's my problem. I tweeted that the backwards hat is a metaphor for Colin Cowherd's butt, and it only has like 42 likes at the moment. It's a far superior tweet to Chase Claypool's by every metric, yet it's not performing. And if you read them both without any context, they don't make much sense to anybody. The takeaway here is when you're undefeated, you can get away with anything, much like when you're a celebrity. And conversely, when your team hasn't won a single game, everything you do gets shit on, like Johnny Depp's 10,000 thread count bedsheets. Allegedly. Like poor Frank Gore, the little engine that could conceivably become the NFL's second all-time leading rusher in 2022 or 2023, and everyone treats Gore like the football equivalent of Larry King. A total punchline despite having the Guinness World Record for longest running show. Oh dear God, is that my future? Larry King just looks like they shaved me, dressed me up in suspenders and glasses, and put me through the aging app. And as the host of the longest running show in the history of the game day, I'm here to stand up for old guys like Larry King and Frank Gore. Partly because they need to sit down. Haven't you heard? Vintage is cool again. Old is the new. The president, whoever it is, will turn 80 in his next term. Jim Carrey is almost 60 as a cast member on SNL. Tony La Russa is the manager of the White Sox, a team that fired him back in 1986, a full decade before Ben DiNucci was even born. So give me back my sleep apnea mask and get off my damn lawn. And just to prove that old guys still got it, here's me doing Drew Lock's Tick Tock dance. I believe this is called Lock, Lock, and Lock It, Chargers. Speaking of Cowboys quarterback Ben DiNucci, we all know a guy named Ben DiNucci won't be the QB for America's team for very long. Sadly, America hasn't embraced an Italian on prime time since Ray Romano. Andy Dalton is in COVID protocol and won't play this week, and Dallas is supposedly moving on from Ben DiNucci, considering Cooper Rush or other at QB. Cooper Rush is just color rush Andy Dalton, so what is their other option? With the way things are trending for old guys, I think we all know where this Cowboys quarterback situation is heading. We know Jerry controls nearly everything in the Cowboys organization, and now he can finally puppeteer the Cowboys offense by shoving his hands up the center's ass. Meanwhile, it appears America's least favorite team, the Patriots, will also need to think outside the box at quarterback, as neither Cam nor Stidham appears to be the answer. So who will it be next year? Fitzmagic? Too much life and joy to be a Patriot. Alex Smith? He already broke his leg, so let's not break his spirit too. Jimmy Garoppolo? No, too hot. And you shouldn't get back with your exes anyway. Tony Romo? No, it's hard to tell on TV, but he's actually gained about 150 pounds since retiring. And then it hit me. This is your 2021 New England opening day quarterback. A Tom Brady hologram created by one Kanye West. Which reminds me, I need to trademark Tomogram or Hologrady. Somehow, a hologram Tom Brady feels more human than the real Tom Brady. It's time for Money Talks. Like that time they replaced Charlie Sheen with Jackie Chan and called it Rush Hour. Gather round for my wisdom on one way to bet with your brain and your balls at the same time. And they're called parlays. Parlays are cool as hell. And I'm not just saying that because this is a gambling segment. Parlays are the equivalent of the guy at the roulette table who puts down all of his chips on one number. Sure, most times he loses, but every time it does hit, you win enough money to fund the next year of losing your roulette bets. Like this guy who nailed the first 11 games of his 12-team parlay, in which he took all 12 favorites. And sure, he could have cashed out on Sunday without sweating the Bucs-Giants Monday Night Football money line, but he didn't, like a true king. And now he's got a story and $4,500 cash. As we wind down, we salute the fans. Each week, I console the fan base who needs it the most. The fans who need the most encouragement to live out the definition of insanity and watch more football this upcoming weekend. Today, we salute the Los Angeles Chargers. The good news is attendance at Chargers games is at an all-time high. The bad news, a lead in a Chargers game is as safe as a backwards hat on the guy trying to date Colin Cowherd's daughter. And sure, last Sunday against my Broncos, your team shat the bed worse than Amber Turd. Allegedly. And sure, it was your team's fourth, nearly inconceivable late game collapse this season. And sure, the exact same thing happened last season against the Broncos, and the season before that. And sure, for over a decade, your team has figured out how to lose games on kicks as time expired. But this week was different, because this time, your team lost after time expired. It's like getting COVID after the vaccine comes out. But I'm not here to dance on the Chargers' grave. Drew Lock beat me to it. I'm actually envious of your team. I would trade the Broncos roster for the Chargers roster in a heartbeat. And not because I'd like to give back Melvin Gordon, who is fine, I guess, though he is significantly not as from Colorado as Philip Lindsay, but because of your rookie quarterback, Justin Herbert. I'd cut off Mike Vrabel's penis to have Justin Herbert as my team's backup quarterback for the next 10 years. So I'm here to tell you, Chargers fans, luck is actually on your side. Sure, the win column isn't filling up this season, but how quickly you forget that this year was supposed to be the 7-9, and maybe if everything breaks right, the 9-7 Tyrod Taylor special. Fate intervened as your team doctor crocheted Tyrod Taylor, treating him like a human pincushion so you could see your future now with Justin Herbert. Tua Tagovailoa has only played in one game, which in my opinion is more than enough to say Herbert is a lot better than Tua. So you got the better draft pick one spot later. And if you keep losing now, you will get a very high draft pick in 2021 where you can, probably replace Desmond King. I don't know why you let him go. Herbert's star turn has injected life into this rudderless franchise, and not like the injection that Tyrod got, or like the breath of fresh air they gave to Trent Brown. Life with a potential all-pro QB on a rookie contract is the great football inefficiency, the secret sauce for winning, and I'd like to lick that spoon. And finally, a eulogy for 41-year-old St. Louis man Rob Huntz, who had $1 million and lost it in a daily fantasy contest last Monday night, when a Bears sack on Jared Goff was changed to a run play. I can't imagine the heartbreak he felt when some nerd in the league office decided arbitrarily what's a sack and what isn't. I know if someone took my sack from me, I'd be furious. Hands off my sack, NFL. I know in this country we would never allow such an important result to be changed like that after the fact. Election humor. Thanks for watching the Game Day. Odd Man Sports here on YouTube. Subscribe to this channel. You gotta sub. We've got so many football videos for you to watch. Here, now, your eyes on the screen. Bye.